Okay, we are live, getting all the tech set up. Now, I'm just gonna grab my notes just so I can see what questions we have. So, hey everybody, I'm Brendan, and I'm gonna try and go live like this a little more regularly so that I can answer anyone's questions when it comes to e-commerce. I get lots of questions all across the internet, so I thought I'd try and stream once or twice a month, and I can help you guys out with any e-commerce questions, any Shopify, Klaviyo, anything that basically helps you get sales on your store. I'm going to help you with. Now I'm just going to sort out the camera so you can all see me. Cool. So for those of you that are joining me from Facebook, I have a post in our Facebook community, which is called the Ecommerce Training Ground. Now, if you haven't been part of that Facebook group, highly recommend you jump in there. We jam a lot about e-commerce and all the strategies that we use to grow e-commerce stores. So it's really, really fun and really cool. And that's where I sort of answer these questions. So I'm going live in that group right now, but I've also gone live on Insta, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, you name it, we are live. So I can see a few people rolling in. Hey Sandy, g'day Marilyn, hey Gab, nice to see you guys. Always nice to start my morning off with you guys, and for those that are in the States or other parts of the world, good evening to you. I'm just gonna have a quick refuel to get started. So a few questions have come in, and so basically the way the session's going to go is I'm just going to jam, I'm going to read some questions, give you the state of e-commerce and talk you through those things. So let's have a look and see what we've got so far. You know what I'll do? I'll make it easy for everybody. I'm going to put a little link. Actually, I'm not going to be able to put that link anywhere because we've got too many streams. Anyway, head to the e-commerce training ground and put your questions in against that post. If not, whatever platform you're on, ask the question and I'll do my best to try and read it from that platform. All right, team, cool. Let's have a look and see what we've got. So I've got a first question. The first question I have here is from Marilyn. I can see on the chat. Thank you, Marilyn. First one from you is, when doing product page and we want to add specifics there like size, material, etc. Should we put it in there as normal text with keywords, or can I do the drop-down menus that Shopify offers, collapsible rows with headlines once it opens up? Okay, cool. So this is for SEO purposes by the sounds of it. Look, there's multiple ways you can do it. With SEO, there is a concept which is called the EEAT principle, which I think it stands for experience. I can't even remember what it stands for, but it's basically the crux of it is that Google favors experience over SEO tactics, okay? And what I mean by that is put the best experience first for your customer. So if you think collapsible rows are gonna work better on your product page versus, a big chunk of text with the headings in there, then do collapsible rows. If you feel that your product needs everything to be laid out neatly in one sort of paragraph, then do it that way. Best way to think about e-commerce, SEO, is to put the user first, okay? Do that first and then apply SEO principles. So determine which one you think is gonna work better for your product page. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what you think looks better aesthetically and it makes it easier for your customers to buy. And then we apply SEO principles such as the tags and the text and things like that, okay? Thank you, Gab. I've just checked my comments. Gab has mentioned what EAT stands for. It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Okay, so that is a concept that Google actually talks about. So if you Google EEAT, you'll see what we're talking about, and that's the theory that it uses when it comes to optimizing for SEO. Experience comes first, expertise, authority, and then trustworthiness. Okay, so think about your page along those lines. All right, no worries, Marilyn, that is great. Happy to help. All right, so Maria, nice to see you. Maria is someone who's in our bootcamp, so it's great to see you live on this call. For those of you who don't know, we do run a bootcamp. It helps us get stores that are just starting up, gets them to $10,000 a month or more. So the bootcamp is awesome, and she's asked a great question, which I think is going to apply really well to everybody. So that question is, I've set up 3 images in Meta. Would I upload the video in the same place, add media, and thank you? So we run a structure in our bootcamp when we talk about structuring our meta ads, and we call it the 3-2-2 method. It's been spoken about by a lot of other Facebook sort of gurus, you could say, and it's a really simple and easy to implement strategy. So what Maria's asking is, do we create different ad sets, one being with images and one being with videos, or do we just put them all in one? Now, we recommend putting them in two separate ones. So we have a 322 ad set, which is images and headlines in one ad set. And then we create another ad set, which is videos and headlines in that ad set. And the reason we do that is because typically videos and images create a different they attract a different type of customer. And we find that videos tend to attract a new customer, sort of, I would call that like top of funnel, whereas images typically are sort of middle bottom of funnel. Not 100% always the case, but we typically find that if someone watches your video and then they see your images in another ad, you have more propensity to buy. So the ads work really well together. We have both the top of funnel and bottom of funnel ads sort of, or middle of funnel playing together. So Maria, to answer your question, please separate them out. Images in one ad set and videos in another ad set. So just follow the training that we have in the bootcamp and just play it out. It played out that way. Alrighty. All right. Hey team, thank you so much for jumping on. This is really cool. Great way for me to start my day. So I do love the comments coming in. I'm just gonna go live on this one. I forgot to click go live on my Instagram. So for those of you who are just joining on Instagram, we are live and we are answering questions about e-commerce. So if you have any questions, just comment down below and let us know, and I'm more than happy to help you guys out. Okay, let's have a look. What do we got? Gabs asked a question. If you were starting an e-commerce business, what are the first 3 things you should be focusing on? That is a really good question. I don't know where to start, Gab. First thing I would be focusing on is getting the product in people's hands. Okay, we need people to validate that the product that we're selling is actually a product that we want to sell. So I'll give you an example. We launched a coffee brand recently, and coffee is a really competitive space, but we did an innovative take on it. And if you haven't seen it, the website is called getdosed.co. Check it out, really fun brand. But what we did was we actually sent out products to, I think it was 15 to 20 people before we even launched. And we got their feedback on the product, and we got, their insights, what they liked, what they didn't like. And then what we did was we created them as our sort of content creators. So the first thing was we sent the products out to them. The second thing was we got them to start creating content for us so that we could use that content both on our website, in our ads, everywhere. And then we could use the feedback they gave us on our website as well. So I would get the product into people's hands, I'd get as much content as possible, then I'd launch the store. Once I've launched the store, then I'd just try and scream from the rooftops with the content that I've got. I'd be posting on social media, I'd be running ads, I'd be doing it that way. And then the information that we got from our customers or the freebies that we gave out, I'd use that to start to modify the page to answer the questions that people might have about that product. I'll give you a great example of this coffee product. We went live and we got questions about like, how many servings do you have in a bottle? Like, how is it made? Why is it different? All those sorts of things. And these weren't questions that we were answering on our product pages. So getting that feedback from those free customers allowed us to manipulate our product page so that when we did our ads, we could go to market with that messaging. All right. So first, in terms of the top 3, get the product in people's hands, get as much content as possible, take that feedback and optimize your site based on that feedback. And only then should we start running ads, because and I might talk about this in a minute because it's something that's sort of been on my mind this week. Ads are not the answer to your business's success, okay? All ads do is they amplify your business. They'll amplify a great business, but they will also kill a bad business, right? So if you put ads, think about ads as like fuel. If you put fuel on a fire, and the fire has got lots of wood and it's, a really good fire, it's going to burn really, really well. Now, if you put fuel on a fire that just has sticks and it's a bit average, it's going to burn down and it's going to fizzle out. Ads and businesses are exactly the same, okay? So we want to make sure that we're only putting fuel on a business that is ready to go, that it has good profit margins, it's good everything. What a lot of people do is they turn on a Shopify store, put on ads, spend money for a month, and they say, my ads don't work. No, your ads work absolutely fine. It's just your business doesn't work. And so we need to fix the business problem. I might talk a little bit about that a little later. That's a great question, Gab. Thank you for that. For those that are just joining, any questions you have, just chuck them in the comments. I'd love to sort of help out with that. Cool. We've got another question here from Gab. I'm just going to refresh my screen, guys. All right, another one from Gab. She says, I'm thinking about doing a BFCM sale. Where do I start? What is the first thing I should focus on? That's a good one as well. You've got all the questions. Thank you. So BFCM, for those of you who are sort of new to e-commerce, BFCM is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Absolutely the biggest selling period of the year when it comes to e-commerce, okay? So it is, we've had brands that literally do 50% of their revenue in the week of Black Friday. And I'm talking 50% of their entire year's revenues. Let's just, for measurement, let's just say the store does $1 million over the whole year. In Black Friday, they do $500,000 within that month. Okay, so the other $500,000 gets done through the year, and then the $500,000 will come through in that month. And for bigger stores, it's even bigger. Okay, so this is a time where you can't be sleeping. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to do huge discount offers. You just need to do what's right in your market. Okay, so in terms of the structure for Black Friday, we actually did, interestingly, we did a masterclass about this. So for those of you that follow me on YouTube, have a look at my YouTube profile. We did a full masterclass. I think it was about an hour's masterclass that takes you through every single step. So that could be pretty useful for you. So the way the steps go is we want to build our audience first. And what I mean by that is we want to increase our email database. We want to get more followers in our social media. We want to, really start to build hype so people get to know about us sort of in that October phase. So October is the time where we get to find our customers, we get to nurture them, we make sure that we're talking to them and they know who we are. So we're sort of warming them up, okay? And then when November rolls around, they already know who we are, so that when we put an offer in front of them, their likeliness to buy is much greater. So effectively hyping them up in October and we're selling to them in November, okay? Now, if we did the opposite where we just run ads and send emails in November to people who don't know about us, the likeliness of them buying from us is gonna be really low because we haven't nurtured them and warmed them up, okay? We haven't given them a reason to buy from us or get them excited about buying from us. So we recommend building your audience first, nurturing them, warming them up, testing some offers with those guys in that October period. And then in November, we then start to go on our offer train, okay? So first thing is building audience. The next thing you need to think about is what your offer is going to be. Now, an offer is not just, okay, I'm just going to discount everything because everybody else is discounting everything. An offer is basically making sure that it meets your business goals. So let's just say you're holding stock and you have, an overstock of a certain product, and maybe it's not a great seller, or maybe it is. Maybe one of your business goals is to clear that stock. So if you want to clear that stock, you will, do a discount on that range only, all right? So you keep your stuff that you've got not much stock of that sells really well. You don't want to discount the good stuff. You just might want to discount the other stuff. There might also be an element where you just want to hit some targets, but you still want to remain profitable. That's where you might do, a deeper discount across everything. But let's just say you want to increase like your average order value. So let's just say average order value is $100, and during this period, you want to try and either maintain it or keep it higher while increasing your sales. We'd probably do some promotions like spend and save, or buy one, get one free, or, buy this, get this. They're offers that are going to stretch your average order value. Let's just say you want to sell more products. You might do multi-buys, buy two for one sort of thing. So what I'm sort of getting at is your offer shouldn't be based on what everyone else is doing. You should base an offer on what your business needs, okay? And think about the outcome that you want to achieve from the sale and what is the mechanism and the offer that's going to help you achieve that outcome, all right? So usually the outcomes that we think about is, can we increase our conversion rate, number one? Can we increase our average order value? And can we increase our traffic? There are sort of three main levers. So if you get that right, it's going to be off to the races. And then during the Black Friday week, we don't want to sleep on email marketing. And email marketing, I've been chatting a lot about that this week, but email marketing is one of those levers that when you pull correctly in Black Friday, it makes you all the money. I mean, all the money, right? So you've warmed them all up in October, they've nurtured, they're getting used to hearing from you. And then in November, when you pull that lever and you send those emails out, then we're going to start seeing the revenue come in because they're ready to buy from you. So email, you cannot send enough emails during Black Friday. There's always going to be this flurry of emails from thousands and thousands and thousands of brands. So you need to be able to cut through that noise. There's so many emails, so many texts that come through. If you're just sending one at the start of Black Friday and one at the end, you're going to lose, right? You want to be sending one at the start of the day, one at the end of the day, during the middle of the day, people who didn't open. We need to go a little bit crazy. And what we find here is that the more emails you send, the more revenue you make. And this is the only time of the year that I would recommend just going crazy and sending as many emails as possible. You have complete and utter license to do that. People are expecting it, and it's unlikely, and in fact, I've done some stats on this, that they're going to unsubscribe. I'll give you a little example. One of the brands I worked with, we ended up over the Black Friday weekend, we ended up sending 18 emails over that weekend. Now, they weren't all to the same people. We did segment based on male and female, high value, low value, but we did end up sending 18 emails over a 4-day period, right? That is pretty wild when you think about it. Now, what we did was we did a post analysis on whether or not that worked or it didn't work, and to see whether people thought it was spam or everything like that. And what was very, very interesting was that if we compared the unsubscribe rates and the spam rates over that period to just a standard control period, the unsubscribes and spam rates were lower than a normal period, right? So that just shows, we sent 18 emails in 4 days, and our unsubs and our spam complaint rate was lower than previous non-sort of sale periods, right? So you have license to go nuts during this period. You have my permission, and you can come and talk to me if you don't think it works. Also, every single one of those 18 emails made thousands of dollars, right? So that's why we just kept sending them till they stopped working, all right? Pretty crazy. Actually, very crazy, if you ask me. So that's sort of Black Friday. And then after Black Friday, what tends to happen is you got this Cyber Monday, and we fall off a cliff. Sales just go from this to boom, down, okay? And that's hard. So that is really hard. So what we typically recommend is after a Cyber Monday period, we got to think about what either our offer or our promotion is going to be after that, okay? Because that's when we move into gifting period, and that's when it's, Christmas, end of year, holidays or vacations, things like that. So we want to make sure we put an offer in market that that relates to that time period. So things like, what are Christmas gifts you could be doing? How could you be bundling? How could you get people prepared for the end of the year? What about when they're going on vacation? Things like that. All right. So that's sort of you need to think about what happens after Cyber Monday. A lot of people forget about that. They just go back to a normal site, and then there's just crickets, and they're not getting any sales whatsoever. All right. Pretty cool. And then we've got end of year, so we might do New Year's Eve type sales. In Australia, I'm not sure if it's the same over in the other countries, but Boxing Day is a huge sales event for us, so we tend to do a Boxing Day sale as well. All right, hopefully that's been useful for you guys. I think that was pretty cool. Thanks, Gab, for that question. Like I said, to those people who are joining in from Insta or YouTube, feel free to chuck your comment down below if you've got any questions. More than happy to help. And those on Facebook, thank you very much. Questions are coming through. So I am going to have a look and see what other questions we have while we're chit-chatting. All right, so Marilyn, I did sort of answer this question, but I'll read it out because maybe I wasn't super clear. But the question was, is the Black Friday sale like a prequel for Christmas sales? Should we do the Christmas sales similar build-up like Black Friday? Yeah, so we want to make sure that the Christmas sale, let's just say you're not doing Black Friday, okay? Now, I would highly recommend everyone gives it some sort of consideration of some sort of offer on Black Friday. Now, it doesn't need to be a discount, okay? What I just want you to realize that during that Black Friday month now, actually, it's going to be the whole month, is people are going to have their wallets open. Okay, so people are going to be ready to spend because they're going to want to get a deal, or they know that they're going to get their present for Christmas or things like that, which means their wallet's open, and there's a term that we use which is called share of wallet, right? So let's just say, I'll grab my wallet here. I got my wallet here. Okay, so let's just say I want to spend $1,000 over this month because I got to buy presents, I want to buy myself something, I want to do this sort of stuff. So I've got $1,000 to spend. That means me as a brand. I want some of that $1,000. Okay, I want some of Brendan's $1,000 when I go on market. So what we're trying to do is we're all fighting for that $1,000. So one brand is, another brand is, another brand is. So you're not necessarily competing against your competitors. You're competing against everyone for that wallet share. So we may not need to use a discount to go on sale, but we need to have something in market to get the attention of people that are out there spending money. Okay, so Black Friday is an opportunity to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. Now, you could be do the anti-Black Friday sale, or you could do something where you, maybe donate during any sales during Black Friday, something like that. Now, actually, in the training that we had, the Black Friday Masterclass training in our bootcamp, we talked a lot about what you should do if you don't want to go on sale. And I think we had more ideas for when you're not on sale than when you are on sale. So for those of you that aren't in our bootcamp, highly recommend you join. If you head to, and there should be a link on one of my profiles to join the bootcamp, but that one is basically if we need to get to $10,000 a month, and I take you through step by step exactly what to do for Black Friday. So in answer to your question, yes, Black Friday is a great prequel, great way to test offers, great way to test deals. And then as you move into Christmas, we switch it up and we sell, either a different style of product. We don't do the same offer again because that offer will be fatigued during Black Friday. We just want to twist it around and make it a little bit different. We just want something new to talk about. Cool, good question. Love that one. All right, no worries, Marilyn. Love that. Cool. Thank you for those that are joining on YouTube. Got a few more coming along. Great. And to my Instagram friends. Excellent. Okay, we've got a few more questions. Let's see what this one is. Can you explain how you work on your offer? Is percentage the best offer to go with during this time? Look, yes. The simple answer is the most simple the offer gets you the best results. Okay. The easier the offer to understand, the easier the results. And the bigger the offer, the best results, okay? Now, if the result is better for the customer, okay, that is always going to get more sales. Now, whether or not those sales are good for your business is another thing. So I find that big, dirty discounts, like say 50% off or 70% off, will always outperform any other offer out there, always, okay? Because people love a discount, right? They love something cheap and fast, okay? That's what Jeff Bezos says. He says there's not anyone in the world that doesn't want something cheap and fast. That's why Amazon focuses on cheap and fast, right? And if you can solve cheap and fast, you will continue to win. Now, when I say solve cheap and fast, I mean, can you make sure that your business's metrics work, or your business model works to be cheap and fast? Can you discount that high and still remain profitable while running ads? Okay, that's really important. Can you do that? Now, if you can, cheap and fast is the solution. Now, if you can't do big discounts, we then start to look at other ways. Again, putting simplicity at the start of it. If people need to think a lot about the offer and they need to calculate it in their head, or they need to do bits and pieces, they're less likely to have the offer. So the more friction in the offer, the less likely to be able to do it. So if they need to do something to get the discount, that adds another point of friction. Okay, so if they need to spend 100 to get 50% off, then that's going to be a little bit more of a friction point, unless it's easy to spend 100 on your store. If they need to buy 2 to get a discount, or they need to do this to do that, or spend and save, then the more friction points you have and the more things that they need to do, the less powerful the offer is going to be. And the same applies to the more things you give them. So we had one member of our community who was in the e-commerce academy, and he absolutely value stacked his offer, but it was so value stacked that it was confusing. Okay, so he had a spend and save, which was, spend 50, save 20, spend 100, save 30, spend 200, save 40, or something along those lines, right? That was the first offer. But then the second offer was, if you spend over 200, you'll also go in the draw to win this thing. But if you spend over 100, you'll get a voucher. And if you do this, and there was all these different clauses and things. And at the end of the day, it was just really hard to understand what the actual offer was. So he ran that for the first week of Black Friday, so before Black Friday even launched, and it just didn't really work so well. On Black Friday, we launched and nothing happened. Well, it was going okay, but it didn't set the world on fire. So we decided to pivot, and we changed the offer to just be a pretty straight, simple discount. It was like 25% off site-wide or something like that. And instantly, boom, their sales just doubled. Just like that, just by changing the offer. Now, if you look at the offer that he had on the spend and save, the discount was still 25%, right? It was still pretty straightforward, but the way we'd stacked it, we're trying to do too many things. We're trying to increase conversion rate. We're trying to increase average order value. We're trying to get retention of people coming back. We're trying to email subscribers. So there's like 4 things that we wanted to get out of this customer. But when we simply put it back down to sort of the basics and the fundamentals and made it a super simple offer, sales changed, okay? So if it's hard for the customer to understand and you have to take 3 sentences to explain it, then the offer is too complicated. Okay, we want to reduce friction and we want to make it really easy for the customer to buy. So hopefully that answers your question around, is percentage off or dollar off better? The simplest offer is better. That's the answer. The simplest, fastest, cheapest offer is always the best. But you got to look at your own business fundamentals, your business metrics, to make sure that offer works for your business. So if I think about people in the dropshipping space, I know I'll have a few people following here from the dropshipping world. They typically have really tight margins. Okay, typically you're like operating at like a 20% gross margin, which is tough, right? It's really tough to run ads, really tough to make any sort of cash from those sort of businesses, which means if you're running at a 20 to 30% gross margin, it's absolutely zero chance that you can discount and run ads at the same time and want to make profit, right? Not possible. Absolutely not possible. So have a think about what your margins are, and then build the offer around the margins, build the offer around what you want your outcome to be, and then boom, pull the lever and we are off to the races. All right. Whew, that was a bit of a rant. Hopefully you guys like that. I'm going to grab a quick drink. Those of you who joined, just drop your comments in the messages. Cool. We've got a few people on Insta. Hey, hi from Germany. Hey guys, nice to see you guys coming in from Germany. Actually, those that are watching along, could you write in the chat where you're from? That'd be really cool to find out where everyone's from. Okay, I'm going to jump back into some questions here, guys, while you're telling me where you're from. All right, we've got a question here from Tia. Tia is also a member of our bootcamp, so thank you, Tia, for jumping in. Tia asks, if I only have to choose one, okay, love these questions. If I only have to choose one, which is your recommendation, okay? A Shopify payment or Instagram shop directly linked between IG and Shopify. I have over 1 million followers. Okay, well, 1 million followers is great. Well done. Great result. So I don't think you'd have to choose one, right? Why do we need to choose one? If you've got 1 million followers, absolutely run Instagram shop, makes it easy, it reduces the friction, 100%. Why would you not do that? But then why would you also not have a Shopify store and direct that 1 million followers to your Shopify store where we can grab their email addresses, we can retarget them, we can run ads, we can do upsells, we can do all the cool stuff that a Shopify store would bring. You know, on Instagram, we can't necessarily do upsells, cross-sells, add-ons, things like that. We can't do subscriptions, we can't do retention marketing. We can get a one-off sale, absolutely, and it doesn't cost you any money. But if we move them over to Shopify and we start to get them to buy from there, then we have the best of both worlds. So I don't think you need to choose one. I think you would do multiples if that was cool. Excellent. Hopefully that was helpful, Tia. I'm going to finish on one last little question that I got. Like sort of get a lot in our community. So in the e-commerce academy, we run a community where we answer people's questions, and it's full of people who are launching their stores, starting their stores. So they're the people that want to get to $10,000 a month. And then in our elite team, we have our stores that are on the track for $1 million a year. Okay. Now, one of the questions I get every single day in the bootcamp is, I've ran my ads for a month and they didn't work. I'm shutting my store down, right? Or business isn't worth it. You know, why do my ads not work? And I sort of touched on this a little bit earlier in the live for those that were here, okay? Actually, people that are watching along, if you can comment, do you think that is that the world that you live in where you're running ads, you're spending money, but it just doesn't work, okay? Who is that? Give me a thumbs up, like the post, comment, let me know. Just so I'm hearing from you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay. Now, I said it before. Ads are basically fuel for your business. Okay? So let's just say you have a Ferrari. Or I'm a Lamborghini guy. So let's just say you have a Lamborghini. And your Lamborghini is sitting in your garage and it doesn't have any fuel in it, right? You got this beautiful car that's set up really, really well, and you put fuel in it, and then it goes off to the races. Now, if you put good fuel in it, it's going to go faster. If you put bad fuel in it, it's not going to go so well. So that's putting fuel in a great car. Now, let's just say you've got that Lamborghini, but it's missing a steering wheel, okay? And you put fuel in it, and you sit in the car, and you put the foot down to the pedal, but it only goes straight, you miss the turn, you crash the car, okay? Or you go in there, and your Lamborghini, you put fuel in it, and you take the wheel, the wheels aren't on there yet, okay? And you put fuel in it, and you go out there and you go to drive it, and it's not going to go anywhere because the wheels aren't there, okay? The Lamborghini is still really good, right? It's still nice to look at, but the fundamentals aren't there. The basics aren't there. It doesn't have wheels, doesn't have a steering wheel, okay? So if we put fuel in it and try and drive it, it's not going to go anywhere. I want you to think the same about your ads. If your store isn't actually working and performing well, then you're not going to convert. People aren't, the ads are just the fuel, okay? The ads are just the thing that makes the store work, Okay, if the store isn't never going to work, the fuel is not going to make any difference. So once you've got your store optimized, then the fuel is going to work. Now, I'm hearing people in the back of their mind saying, yeah, but how am I know if my store is going to work? And that's where ads are also useful. Ads are also a way to test whether or not your store is going to work. Okay, so if you run ads for a month, you throw all this fuel at your store, and the car just doesn't go, and you look at it and go, oh, geez, I spent all this money on ads, and my car's not moving. Why is it? Well, we look under the wheel, and it's got no. You look under the bonnet, and it's got no wheels, or it's got no engine. Okay, so we take, well, of course, well, that's why it doesn't have an engine. Okay, or I get feedback from people saying, well, I'm trying to drive the car, but I can't because it's got no steering wheel. So what ads allow us to do is learn really quickly about what is not working in our store. So the ads aren't the problem. Okay, well, the ads might be the problem, but first we need to make sure that the store is not the problem. Okay, so I'll give you an example of someone in our bootcamp, and I think she's watching now as well, so you'll know who you are. We did this call last week in our bootcamp, and it was, we assessed her store. She was doing this. She was running ads for a week, and she wasn't getting any sales. Interestingly, though, and grab a notepad, everyone who's following along, because this is a really good analysis of if you're running ads and you're not getting sales. This is what I want you to do. So we looked at her ads. And the ads looked great. The ads were beautiful images, followed all the things that we teach in the bootcamp, and spending money every day on ads. And they were clicking the ads. Click-through rate was great. Cost per click was great. Everything was great. And they were getting to the website, but they weren't buying. Okay? So what that instantly tells us, the ads were working. The ads were doing their job perfectly. They were, people were seeing them, people were clicking them, people were getting to the site. So the ads were working. Okay? So it wasn't the ads problem, it was the website's problem. So then as a group, we all assessed her site, we had a look at it, and we said, well, what do we think we could do differently? And when we got to the site, people were a little confused about what the product was. So they looked and they said, well, I'm not really sure what this product does. And I'm not really sure why you're asking that price for it. And I'm not really sure how to use it. And I'm not really sure what else comes with it. Okay? So what was happening was, we were driving people to that site. We got to the site and we're like, it's a beautiful site. It looks great, but me as a person who is clicking this ad, I'm not really sure what this offer is. You're charging this amount of money, but I'm not really sure what I get. And is it worth the amount that they're charging? Does it have all the things that I want in it? And absolutely it does, but maybe we just weren't articulating it correctly. Okay, so in that instance, the ads were perfect. They were working great. Just the site didn't match. Okay, and then so I see the other flip side to that is we run ads and they cost us a lot of money. We don't get any clicks. So if that's your world, what does that mean? That means that your ads are not great. And that usually is that the creative isn't very good. Okay? Because the way Facebook and Meta and Instagram and TikTok work now is they love promoting creative that people like to click, engage, and comment on. And what they'll do is they will show that to more people. And if your ad's spending money and if your ad is getting clicks and engagement, they're going to show it to more people. Okay? Because they want people to see your ad. So if that's not happening and you're spending money but it's not getting any clicks, then it means that your ad is a terrible ad. All right. So they're the two metrics you need to look at: is does my ad get clicks to my store? If it does, then and it's not getting conversions, then there's something wrong with my store. If my ads are running and they're not getting many clicks and it's costing me too much per click, then the ads are just not very good. All right. And then we need to fix the ads. And then once we fix the ads, then we need to fix the store if it doesn't convert. All right. And I'll give you a great example, and I'll end on this. All right. I'll end on this. We launched our coffee store 3 weeks ago. Okay. We launched it. I didn't run any ads. We just were collecting the content. We were getting feedback. We we're optimizing the store. We're learning all about it. We launched the ads yesterday. Or yesterday? What day is it today? No, we launched the ads a day ago, 2 days ago. Within 4 hours of launching the ads, we'd got 3 sales. Okay. And the reason for that is we got the store ready first. We put the wheels on the Lamborghini. We put the steering wheel on. We made sure it was all optimized exceptionally well. We built the ads around the messaging that people were asking. And we put the ads on and we put the fuel on, and then boom, we got the sales. Okay? Because we learned about what people want to buy from us. The ad, again, just fuels it. People want a product. They want to know exactly what they're buying, what product you're solving, what problem you're solving, and what you can do for them. And they want to make sure that what they're buying they're confident with, and there's no risk. All right. So I want you to think a little bit about that. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Okay. If your ads are spending, getting clicks and not converting, site problem. If your ads are spending, not getting clicks, ads problem. All right. That's simple as that, how we break it up. Whew. All right. I think that's me for the day. I've been jamming here for 30 minutes talking to myself, sort of. Those that are following along, if you could comment something that you learned today, just something that you learned. So whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are, what's one thing that you learned, so I can hear about it? Over on Instagram, we've got one. What's a good click rate? Look, a good click rate is sort of 1 or 2% or more click through rate. Look, we can have a lot. Look, there's no. I probably shouldn't even answer that. There's no benchmark. If you're not getting clicks, then that's a bad click rate. Now, I've seen stores that have a low click through rate but a really high conversion rate, and that tends to work really well for them. Okay, when I've seen stores have a high click through rate and a low conversion rate, that also that can also work for them. So it really the answer is it depends. I hate answering with it depends because I like to be more finite, but it definitely depends. With it, whatever works for you, the metrics work. If you're getting sales and you're making profit, then whatever the metrics are that get you there are great. And then what we basically do is we can see, can we turn those metrics up? What dials do we need to turn? How do we, if we've got a low click-through rate and a high conversion rate, then we've got a great metric we're going to work towards. How do we improve our click-through rate? A better creative, better ads. Okay, cool. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave you guys. I've got to start my day now. It's 9:15 here in Australia in the morning. So for those that are in the evening, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And I will, for those of my boot campers, I'll see you in the boot camp. For those in my elite team, see you guys in the elite team. If there's anyone watching here and does want to join our community, head to ecomacademy.co and have a look and see what it works for. We help scale stores all the time, and these sort of sessions I run weekly inside our community, but we jam harder and we go into more detail. But hopefully everyone found this useful. I'll leave you guys to it and enjoy the rest of your days. Over and out.